bring in the former Israeli Defense Minister, Benny Gantz. Thank you, sir, for joining our coverage. We've got something new in here. It appears President Trump has stopped to talk to Axios from Mar-a-Lago today. As we're reporting the news this just in, he is telling Axios in what we are told was about a 5-minute telephone interview that he says he believes he has several off-ramps from Operation Epic Fury. I can go long and take over the whole thing or end it in 2 or 3 days and tell the Iranians, see you again in a few years if you start rebuilding your nuclear and missile programs in this 5-minute interview. Perhaps this is giving us the first real window into President Trump's thinking about how this ends.
Well, thank you very much, and shalom from Tel Aviv. I first would like to convey my appreciation for the very brave decision by President Trump for going on this process that we are now in, and very high remarks for both militaries, the United States and Israeli military forces, for a bright execution. I think that President Trump understands the importance, global leadership on his shoulders, which means that he ordered to go on this operation, but he also responsible to see how we come out of it. And I understand him for that. I think that we have a great historical opportunity to set the condition to a regime change in Iran that will influence the entire region and the entire global world. And we know what happened in Venezuela. We see what happened in Ukraine, Hormuz, Red Sea, Suez Canal, etc., etc. I suggest that all of us will look decades ahead and not only days ahead, and I think we should stick to this goal of setting the conditions to a regime change in Iran, and I think it's achievable.
Mr. Gantz, John Roberts here. Good to see you again, sir. On that front, to your point there, Benjamin Netanyahu said a short time ago that he has seen indications that the Ayatollah may not have survived the attack against him, nor may have the rest of the top Iranian leadership. Do you know anything about that at this point?
I understand that more than reasonable that he is killed. And if he's not, then we will kill him down the road. Once again, you know, we will have ups and downs in this process, and we will have achievements, and we'll have sometimes fallbacks. This is what war is about. I think he's gone. I think many of his people are gone. But if not, well, it happened in the future. Once again, stay focused on the strategic goal. We can get there, and we should get there.
Mr. Gantz, obviously, as we work our way into the very late hours there, middle of the night, what do you anticipate comes next? As we just got these new words from President Trump here, we're learning of this phone call that he had with Middle East leaders. What are you anticipating and looking for next in all of this?
I think that we should focus on taking down as much as we can the regime targets. First, it's the command and control, both the leaders and the military capacity. Of course, all their defense capabilities, so we will have more flexibility down the road. We'll take their assets as far as long missiles and other elements. We should be very selective with what we are attacking because we don't want to harm the people of Iran. And we need to understand that somebody will have to take the stick down the road, and we have to be very careful with how we fight. But I think it's possible. I think we should try to shorten the time as much as possible. But once again, if it takes more time to come to this place where the regime is being changed, I think we should take the time and focus the tempo of the campaign to have a longer one if necessary.
Right. So in terms of regime change, I mean, if the Ayatollah and the top leadership are indeed gone, or whether it's now or whether it's, as you pointed out, at some point down the road, there's a big question of what comes next. I mean, the IRGC and the theocracy in Iran has effectively suppressed and squelched any opposition there. Now, we don't know if when the pressure comes off, suddenly it will emerge from the streets and be of enough force to be able to take over the levers of power in government. But so far, the only indication we've seen of who might come next is either Reza Pahlavi, the son of the Shah, or the NCRI, which used to be the MEK. We don't know of anything else. So what do you see filling this vacuum here?
I think it's going to be a process, a transition time. Where we'll see sometimes maybe an intermediate organization, the Raza or others, that will take some kind of control. You know, it's very important and sometimes very easy to differ between right or wrong. You know, there's no question of whether it's left or right. It's just simply of right or wrong, and I think we are right. This regime had all the opportunities before to back off from its plan, to back off from supporting terrorism activities around the region. Let us not forget, you know, before he attacked Israel, he attacked Aramco in Saudi. He was involved in Venezuela. He is involved with the Houthis. It's not just a question of us defending ourselves. This is a regional aspect, this is a global aspect, and that is the tyranny regime, fundamentalistic regime that may have put his hand on strategic capabilities. It's unheard of. Those people have different rationalities than we have, and we cannot take the risk of them being there. We waited several decades. We tried so many times, so many rounds of discussions. Everything was done in order not to get to this war. Now, once we are there, let us stick to our target. We understand it might take some time, fine, but let us look to our children's future, grandchildren's future, and not just rush for the next quarter or the next news. I think it's very important. I believe that President Trump understands that. I believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu understands that. And here in Israel, there's no opposition or coalition on this issue of Iran, because we all understand the importance of doing what we are doing right now.
Mr. Benny Gantz, appreciate your time today. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And once again, let us pray for the safety of our operators in the air and on the ground, wherever those are. And I'm sure we will succeed. Thank you very much.
Indeed, we join you in that. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.